Hello everybody, it is I, Moses, from the Prodigies 12. Sorry my voice sounds a little weird. I've been having a cold and stuff for a while, and as you can see by the title, I'm going to teach you about one-point perspective in drawing. Now, I'm not a master artist, so don't take my word as law. This will just give you a somewhat understanding of it. This doing perspective stuff takes a really long time to get down, and then there's still, you can keep doing better and all. But first off, before we begin, we need to have your materials ready. So first off, you need pencils, or yeah, well, the pencil. I have a bunch of a bajillion different kinds of pencils, probably none of them which I'm not going to use any of them in this video. I got a bunch of them from Artist Loft, which is really good. An eraser, like a kneaded eraser, which is kind of like clay, and you can mush it up and stuff, and it's really fun. It's really helpful, because it doesn't leave all the bits around and stuff, but it's not very accurate, so then you can either get one of these, retractable thingies, or whatever you can call them, or just a normal rectangular thingy, which you can buy. I know at Michael's you can buy a pack of a bunch of these Artist Loft pencils, a bunch of, like, I don't know, whatever these are. I don't know, they're supposed to, like, dab stuff and stuff, and a sharpener and stuff, and these two kind of erasers for like $5, and it's a really good deal, so I suggest you do. And what else we are going to need is a ruler, clear plastic if you want. I'm using metal from Staedtler, or whatever the heck you want to call it. A pencil sharpener. This came with that Artist Loft stuff that I got at Michael's. And last but not least, a paper or sketchbook like I have. I'll just be using a plain piece of paper. Now, one thing I want to say before, I've done half of this drawing already, and so I'm going to do the other half with you guys, and so you'll see it once I get in, and then I'll kind of like do the same thing on the other side, and you'll see. So, yeah. So as you can see right here, I have already done half of the drawing right here, and so I'm basically going to copy the exact same thing and move it over here. And this is kind of like a short thing, and then I'll cut straight to zooming in right here because it's not really easy for me to shoot all of this. So I'm going to zoom into about like right here, and then do the building closest to us. So that means because it's closest to us, it'll be a lot bigger, and then I'll explain all of that later. Also, yes, another thing, it's really weird, but this line up here, if you didn't know, is the horizon line, which you have to draw right at the beginning. That's where the sky touches the earth, and that's really helpful. And then anywhere on that line, you have to put a dot. And if you can see that dot right there, that's the vanishing point. That's where the things in the foreground go from the middle ground to the background, and then they disappear, and you can't see them any farther. So you need that, because all the lines eventually go back to that, as you can see by this straight, these lines. So yeah, we'll get in. Hello, yes, now as you can see, I have zoomed in onto this part that we are going to draw with the largest building, and then I'll go back out later to do the rest of them. Now, one thing you really need to do, because it's supposed to be the builders really close to you, it's got to be the biggest of all of them, and so it's got to have like a really wide wall space. So it doesn't really matter how big you put it, but I've drawn a sidewalk right here, and like for these first two squares, I put them about like kind of almost 2 centimeters apart, and so I find that doing the sidewalk first is really helpful, because then usually the first wall of the house, oh, you can't even do it. Okay. This part right here is usually about around the line of the second one, so that's really helpful. And now we shall begin. Now, of course, always use a ruler when doing stuff like this. So if we lay this down right here, and yes, one thing real quick. I'm gonna move the camera. Right here, this line right here. This is basically where the top of the first wall meets like the roof edge, as you can see over here. See, like the bottom of the front of the house meets the roof edge right here, and then it connects to the roof, and then it goes up. And in the background back there is the horizon line, but this is the roof line edge. This is the sidewalk line number 1, sidewalk line number 2, and then road stuff. And now watch as I draw, because I won't be drawing a back of the house like as you can see over here. I won't be doing something like that because it'll be the one up close and you won't see that. Now you can follow along if you want and do the exact same thing, but you don't have to. You can just watch this for reference. Now I suggest you bring the line, as I said, all the way up to there, without going straight up and down, like kind of like bend it sideways. You don't really have to. And then because the other one, because it's really close to you, you won't see the back of the house as you would on the other side, where like meets the sidewalk and stuff, where you can see that it is a rectangle, but they are going to be rectangles. But we will add a line. We will add a line about around, let's say right here, about right there, and that'll be where the house like kind of folds back, because these are supposed to be rectangles, and we're supposed to be like, and the way I can stand is you're standing like right here, and you're looking directly down the street, so you can continue to see down all the way down until you can't see anything more. And so you'd see this part of the house, it would be like folding back, which would be kind of like close to you, because these are like kind of like this way to you, and then this part's like that, if that makes any sense. Now, gotta move the drawing up, because we've gotten to the roof already. Now the roof, give me a second. Give me a second to adjust the camera. Alright. Now, the roof is kind of a weird thing. Let me move my pencils. Okay. The roof is kind of a weird thing, is because it's kind of like going straight towards that. The roof is going to have to lean back a bit. Like not like extremely, but like still a bit. Okay. That right there should be good, like close to the top, not like over the top. And then if you move back down here, this part right here, which is the part of the wall that is about to be the part where it folds over, is the part where you draw the other line, is because it's basically a pyramid on top of a rectangle, and so the edges, the vertexes, the vertexes all gotta meet up together. And man, I moved my ruler, so crap. But and of course the roof also has to meet a vertex which is off of the picture, which we don't see, and so you gotta come back to the top and then take a line and trace it down there, so it kind of like goes off, but you can still see it, and you know that it's going to continue offwards. And now, once you have done all of that, it looks probably really weird, you should basically kind of have like that shape. And if you do get that shape, then that's really good. And basically erase the horizon line, but don't erase the roof line, as I'd like to call that, because that's where you can show that there literally is the edge of a house, because you know there's like the gutter and stuff where you can see where the wall meets the roof, and you need that. Just fixing up lines. And some of the fun, now we get into the fun stuff, which would be the details, which I'm not going to have any really detailed. I'm basically just going to draw a door, and that's basically all. So about you have to give me a second. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Okay, I see it now. Now you're gonna have to like bring it down, kind of like down the edge of here, and draw the line up, not too high, so it's got to be a decent size because it's really close to us. So about there, I don't know how long did I make it? About 5 centimeters tall. And then the other one would be about right here, I guess. Now, don't worry if it looks kind of skinny. It's just the perspective way. Yeah, and one quick thing I'd like to say while I'm drawing these lines is that there's not really any straight up and down lines like positively, like straight up and down, like this ruler, like straight up and down, because that doesn't really work, because all of them are kind of like at an angle, because like a lot of the major lines have to like go back to the vanishing point, as you can see here, but some of them they can go like sort of straight and up, but they're still usually gonna be at least a little tiny bit of angle. And I kind of screwed up on the road up there, but oh well. And if you've done that correctly, your door should look kind of like that. Sorry, the camera's a little dopey. And voila, door. Then you can just add in the little tiny details. And then a little circle for a handle, and then a keyhole, and bam. That's basically one house really done. And it's basically the bigger one, and it's not really much, but oh well. Yeah, and I'm gonna sign off for right now. We're not done though. There's probably gonna be a part 2, maybe even a part 3. But don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and look for camera, and look for part 2, and then maybe part 3. So yeah.